What? You did multiple?
Oh, there's like 7 of them. It's just me and Steph, you know.
All right.
My new best friend.
Talk about yourself.
Just
hanging
me
out.
and Steph.
Just me and Steph, you know. My guy and Chef. I call him Chef.
You call him Chef?
I'm like, sup, Chef? You cooking tonight? He was like, I got something for you, J-Dub.
Here we go again.
Yeah,
He
put that
calls me
bad boy
J-Dub.
All
up.
right, Dolly.
Put it up. Put it up.
All right.
Grumpy Grizzly is out.
Put it up. He's back.
It is what it is. It is what it is. All right.
He's back.
So, you may have seen that Steph Curry had 52 points last night. Let me just, before I get into everything else that took place, he was absolutely, positively amazing. In 20-some years of going to games at FedExForum, that is on the very short list of most amazing performances I've ever seen. Obviously, in 2008, and the only reason I remember the year is because the Tigers made the Final Four, was when Kobe had the 60-something in FedExForum. But that last night, like right off the bat, and we actually played his post-game interview, and they asked him about scoring 2 points the last time he was in FedExForum. And so was this, to make amends for that? And he was like, I didn't even remember I had 2 the last time. He's like, but thanks for reminding me, guys. And so he's like, but what I did know is that we have played Memphis many times over the years, and the times in which we have had our problems with Memphis, they have jumped up on top of us, and then we have found it hard and difficult to execute everything we want to and to play with. Then we're playing from behind. And this is the team you cannot let jump on you. He goes, so it was very intentional for us to come out in the first quarter and to try to put our best foot forward, like right there, not like ease into the game, because we have eased into the game against the Grizzlies before, and we have paid for it. And sometimes, obviously, like the last time they played at FedExForum this year, that got wildly out of control, and they ended up losing by 40-something, 50 points, whatever it was, right? It was outrageous. And it just got away completely. But the tone was set like immediately, like the Grizzlies just jumped on top of him. And so he wasn't going to ease into anything. And they ended up putting 45 points up in that first quarter, and now you've got, look, you're pushing the boulder uphill, as they say, for the rest of the way. It's going to take you a hell of a lot of energy just to be able to fight back and make it a game, which the Grizzlies did. But he was otherworldly. Outside of the 52 is going to make the headlines, but I mean, the guy had 10 rebounds, the guy had 8 assists, and the guy had 5 steals. He was so.
We talk about gravity, boy.
Oh my God, he was incredible.
The gravity of Steph Curry is one to behold, bro.
Well, and here's the other thing, and this is one of the things we talk about. Like, so we're on the front of the Jimmy Butler acquisition. It's something you knew I was a huge fan of when they made it. They have lost 5 games since they acquired him. I believe 3 of those 5 games, one or the other,
When they both
has
have
not
played, they're
They've-
17-2.
Okay, 17-2 when both of them have played. And this is, and as someone who has watched Steph Curry's versions of the Warriors play over and over again, one of the things that had come about with this version of the Warriors, of which they needed to greatly improve, was when you talk about the gravity of which he includes, that if you want to sell out and you want to start, making life as difficult as you need to make it on him, it was like, okay, then he passes out of it. Now Draymond, is doing his thing where he's dribbling down from the
4-on-5,
and he's playing 4-on-5. But you didn't care that they threw the ball out to Kuminga. You didn't care they threw the ball out to Andrew Wiggins. You didn't care that they threw the ball out to Podziemski. You didn't care that it didn't matter to you, right? Yeah. There was one guy, and it's like, all right, if the other ones are going to beat us, then we'll live with it. That's what Butler changes. That's what it changes, because you do care. You have to care.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, and you're going to pay less mind to him, Jimmy Butler ends up with 27 last night in the game. Draymond ends up with a triple-double, and it's like, what just happened? I mean, look, it didn't matter what the other guys do on the court. And, in fact, you look at the other guys, Moses Moody plays a role. Podzinski plays a role, and they get you, 11 points, 8 points.
Podzinski crashes the boards a lot better than I thought he did.
Yeah.
He crashed the offensive boards hard, boy. He got the last tip in to seal it when they missed a shot.
Yeah, and they played it, and they don't play some kind of super long rotation as they did early in the season. That thing is tightened up a little bit more. But, I mean, that is what the Butler thing has attained for them. Now, all of that being said, though it is a grumpy Grizzly day, I will say this. Gary asked me, what can you take that is positive from? And obviously, we are so far past, being angry about things. So you are looking for, and this is what I told him. I said, look, in the end, the only thing that matters is the results, and the big picture is you still can't beat good teams. And good teams lose all the time. Somehow it's never to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is obviously mega depressing. What I will say is this, that we just watched them play 3 teams that they are clearly not better than, okay? They're not better than the Lakers now. They are not better than the Warriors now, and they are not better than the Celtics now.
Yeah.
And they are way worse than the Celtics, right? And this is what I told Gary. There's the Celtics, and there's Oklahoma City, and there's Cleveland, right? Those teams have separated themselves greatly from the rest of the pack in the NBA, right? There are 3 teams that feel great and fear no one and feel great about their chances, and for good reason, because over the course of the season, they have performed at a consistently high level. They have performed again at a consistently high level against their peers, even the good ones, and so they feel good about it. Everybody else doesn't know, because on one side, right, if I said Cleveland and Boston, you're going from 3 down. New York has the same conversations we do all the time. Trust me, I host a podcast with a Knicks fan, and we are texting all the time, and he's like, the Knicks can't freaking beat anybody good. You know what I mean? And it's like either Jalen Brunson's going to stand on his head at the last 5 minutes or we're going to lose it. So that's the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
And they have their own questions. Tibbs plays too many minutes. Ours is that we don't play our guys enough minutes. And it's like, but that's on down. The second seed in the Western Conference is 9-1 to make the West Finals.
Yeah.
Okay? So Vegas tells you they are a long shot to win 2 rounds. That's the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Okay? Denver just lost last night to Minnesota, right?
Amazing game,
but there are teams that are lower in the standings. It's odd because it's almost inverse. The teams that were doing very well and felt good about themselves for a majority of the season now don't feel as good, probably. And the teams that are lower, and then I'm speaking specifically of the Western Conference, they feel the best they felt about their teams. If you're a Clippers fan, you feel the best you felt about your team. If you're a Lakers fan, you feel the best you felt about your team. If you're a Warriors fan, you feel the best you felt about your team. And if you are a Timberwolves fan, you feel the best that you felt about your team this year, right? Mm-hmm. Those 4, you feel the best that you have about your team. And everybody else is it's kind of matchup and health dependent. I don't know. There's nobody that, has these incredibly warranted high hopes except for 3 teams, right? There's 3 teams. So, fast forward, you've played 2 of those in the Western Conference and Boston, okay? Boston is 1 I set aside, okay? Boston is so much better than you, and you're never beating that
so much
team.
Better than everybody.
And it's that. I think that team's going to win the title.
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
For sure.
So I'm going to set them aside.
Yeah.
I never expected to be better in Boston anyway, right? I don't care how well this season was going. You're probably not as good as them. Look at their players. They got better players than you. All the way across. They got better players. Okay. And they're spending $1 billion to do it. The Warriors and the Lakers are supposed to be your peers, right? That's who you're in the mix with right now. You look at playoff standings, that's who you're in the mix with. And I think one of the massive problems, and the reason that no longer we see Taylor Jenkins on the sidelines for the Memphis Grizzlies, is that you got to the point where you weren't close with them. you weren't competing against those. You go play the Clippers, you get run out. You played Portland, you got run out. Anytime you played, it had gotten to the point where anytime you played anybody good, you were losing by double digits. You were losing by 15. You were losing by whatever. Yeah. And so the one thing I will say, and it's mildly positive, okay, is that I look at it and I go, okay, you competed against both of those teams. Like, you ain't that far. Like, I watched the Boston game and went, bro, you are never beating them. I watched the other two games and go, you got to play better than you did. You can't have what was in commonplace in both of those two games is Jaren Jackson Jr. got 2 early fouls in both of those. But, bro, if you can't win scoring 127 and 125, then fine. But you don't got to be that much better. You got to give up 120. Giving up 124 and 126 still sucks. But you would have won both of those games if you gave up that number. So it's like you don't have to be that much better defensively, and you're not that. We had gotten to the point where if you were playing anybody with a pulse, like if we were playing against LA, we were playing against Warriors, we feel like we're just gonna get smoked, right? We ain't even in that same hemisphere. I watched these 3 games, and there was only one of the teams that I said, you ain't in the same hemisphere. Yeah. The other 2, you're in the same hemisphere. Yeah. You got to play better than you did.
You just need to wear your big dogs, not getting to kind of revert to one.
You have to have your 3 guys be awesome. Yeah. Guess what? Their 3 guys were awesome. Yeah. Jimmy Butler at 27.
Draymond had a triple-double.
And Steph Curry
went nuclear.
All-time performance.
There's nobody else you care about on their team past those 3.
Nah, because Quinn posted a couple in the first quarter. He didn't hit nothing else.
Moses Moody hit the dagger, which was caused by Jimmy Butler, Curry, and Draymond.
The dagger might have been the Pod's.
The Pod offensive rebound.
That's
when I walked up. When the Pod flew out of nowhere.
You are going to have role players make plays in games. But what I'm saying is, you look at their group, especially in the absence of Kuminga, you look at their group and you go, all right. Like, and they brought in Quentin Post, and they brought in Guy Santos, and they brought in, Buddy Hield, and they brought in Kevon Looney. And, like, it's 3 guys, right? And you got it, like, those 3 guys. And, again, those 3 guys had to be amazing for them last night. And guess what? They were amazing for them.
And one was an all-timer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you have, like, a mildly good step performance, the Grizzlies we win that game. If it's not like a nuclear Steph, you win the game. Steph just had an all-time performance.
And so that's what I will say is at least, like, we played 3, like, okay, and actually it's 4, like, of the losses, okay? Bro, you're not close to Oklahoma City.
No.
You're not close. You're not close. You're not close to Boston.
No.
I do not think you're that far off from LA and
you're not
the Warriors. Like, you're in that group. You're and that's the problem. So that's why I'm saying Taylor Jenkins isn't on the sidelines because we had gotten to the point where we weren't even in that group. They lost both of these games, and they lost both these games on their home floor. I'm not telling you they could beat either of those teams in a playoff series. What I'm saying is it had gotten to the point where we were losing those games by 15. We weren't even close to anybody decent. But those teams are good teams. As they are currently constructed, the Lakers and the Warriors are both very good. They are, okay? And they're both going to be a bitch to deal with for anybody in the playoffs. And you're probably, I'm not telling you you're better than those teams, right? They made improvements. Their trade deadline swung it. They became better than you at the trade deadline, okay? Because they added Jimmy Butler, they added Luka Doncic. But I also don't think that you're not in that group of teams, right? That group of teams. And at least it made you feel that way when you played those two. Again, you're not close to the group that's the title group, okay? Which is the 3 that we talked about that is, has warranted extremely high expectations. But you ain't. I mean, those were both good games. Correct. They're both good games.
And I love that our best guys are our best guys in the moment. Like, other than Jaren had to get in foul trouble fouling out. Like, Ja has been amazing. Other than, like, these down the stretch, he's, like, hanging in the air, turnovers, but like 36 and 6, and he had a double-double the last game. Like, that's the job you wanted to see, right?
Right. No, him, Bane, and Jaren have to be great. And that was not a good Jaren game at all. Not only the foul trouble, he was 7 for 20.
My guy
Dez
looked
wasn't
like he was
awesome
going
at
to
one
pass out.
Yeah.
And when he was short-arming those tray balls in the corner.
3 in a row. 3 different corner threes that he short-armed all 3 of them.
The other thing, too, that speaks to him, like the 2 of 9 from 3, and just even for some of our – we have 42 points in the paint. Like, they are not a big team. Like, you have got to attack the rim on them.
Right.
Edie did.
Yeah.
Oh!
They are so small.
Edie was feasting.
They are.
Like, you can't, part of it, I think, like, Jared taking 9 threes, it's like a couple of them he walked into, but some of those ones, like, in the fourth, it's like, it felt like those corner ones, like, dude, they are leaving you there. Like, they'd rather you take that than you just drive to the basket on them.
Yeah.
Like, Edie.
I did watch last night, and I thought to myself, and I said this right after the trade deadline, and maybe I'm just wishing on a star. I probably am. I'm wishing for something that has not been, that has no reason to be valid. But I said at that time, it has to be Vince Williams. Now, obviously, Vince Williams was out for illness. You wondered if he got sick from that friggin' ref the other night. There were 2 guys out with illness. You remember the Boston game? We ended the game with 2 refs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they said he was out with injury. They told me he was barfing in the back. Like,
Really?
he just couldn't stop barfing. Like the ref. Who knows? So maybe he had some kind of stomach bug or something, and maybe one of our guys got it. And look, Vince Williams has been a big disappointment. But again, look, Jalen Wells has had a very good rookie year, right? Like, you need a long, athletic guy to be out there on the perimeter guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the trick. It's like, bro, you are throwing him into hell having him out there guarding Steph Curry. And it's like, Vince Williams is like the only wing on the team that might be able to bring defensive force.
Or, like, that might bump
Seriously,
him a little.
like, you need him so badly. You need a wing that can bring defensive force. Because this 39-45 in the first quarter, it doesn't work. And again, because you've got a small backcourt with Ja and with Bane, you need somebody that can bring some defensive force.
Yeah.
And in the absence of, like, and again, they made their choice on Marcus Smart, but bro, you've got to have somebody that can play some defense. You've got to. You've got to have somebody that can stay in front of somebody that can chase the best player around. And again, we have not seen it. The results have been very poor for Vince since he came back. But I also think that there is a world where Vince Williams could end up having to become your small forward, because it's too much for Wells. Yeah. And now you're getting into the playoffs. You're going to have to put him out there on whoever you face. Like, say we have to play in the friggin' play-in. That's a real thing that could happen now.
That's
like, bro, we can't put it. Like, we can't put him out there on Anthony Edwards and say go.
Yeah, because last night too, it was like one of those things where like you see Steph. When Steph can just run freely, I think that's the Steph Curry that's the most deadly. Like when we had Dylan or other physical defenders, they'll bump him, make him feel you a little bit. Jalen wouldn't really kind of bump him. He would like, I'm here.
Right.
Then Steph pass it. Then he'll stand up straight, and Steph will make a move wide open 3. Right. And Scotty's about 5'11", 6 foot.
And the poor kid also ran into 75 screens.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
he's run into a lot of
and like
screens.
73
My
were
God,
illegal.
it
73
is like,
were illegal, but there were still screens.
We need to get him a helmet.
Yeah. That man is
gotta be crashing.
It's unbelievable.
It's like dodge him,
bro. Or just like maybe get him some peripheral vision or something. Like, God,
Dodge
bro.
the screen.
Why do you run so hard into every screen? Like, it's always just feels damaging.
Yeah, and like Scotty's.
Who did Edie drop with the screen? Was it last night or the Boston
Moody.
game?
Moody got one.
Oh my
That's the
God.
That was
I want.
hilarious.
I want every one of them screens to be like, brick wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That comes with time too. I think
Yes.
he's gonna learn a lot about the send screen thing. I know you're gonna bring it up, Roser. I heard you on the radio talking about it last night. The brick hands. He's gonna learn how to do some stuff.
That's
But
it's people. We had a caller say like catch and keep the ball high and go up, and I'm like no, just like catch. Let's just catch.
First step.
Let's work
First
on
step,
that.
baby
Just
steps.
catch the ball.
But no, look, bro. Like you said, I'm with you though on the physical, the guarding thing. Because I just watched Steph
We
last
just
night.
need somebody that can go out there and play with defensive force on the wing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Steph looked way too comfortable last night, just running up and down. Like he never felt like somebody was gonna knock his ass into the third row.
Right.
He was like, I'm just gonna run around here and hope I'm gonna get a wide of a shot.
Yes.
Like when I know we speak on his name, DB. Like he made it tough on Steph. TA made it tough on Steph. Even if you get 30, 35, it's gonna
Right.
take 27 shots to get it.
That's right.
He was comfortable last night, bro. And
That's right. And I'm saying there's only one guy on the roster that can bring defensive force.
yeah.
Like, we need him to be able to come back and be a guy that can get into it. Because otherwise we're putting out wings out there, and it's like, man, it's like Wells and it's Kennard, and then you're playing Santi, 40 minutes a night now, and it's like, bro, you can't. And that's the reason that the Jaren thing becomes of wildly outsized importance is because he's your only plus defender. And he can clean up a myriad of things. Yeah. He cleans up a myriad of things. Like, just with his size and his length and him being out there, he cleans up so much. And when he's not on the court, it's just a free-for-all. Seriously. It's like you can't even survive defensively.
Yeah.
And it's like, so we got to have somebody that can stay in front of somebody on the perimeter. And what I'm saying is, like, I got it. Vince has not been good. He's your only chance. You don't have another physical defender.
Nope.
I mean, you tried to go Lamar Stevens.
Yeah, you should have put Lamar out there to bump Steph a little bit.
You know what I mean?
But they'll leave him butt naked open, though.
I'm just saying you need somebody that's just going to chase and run and, just you decide, like, bro, this is your assignment. You've got to just – that's your job tonight.
Yeah, deter his path
Right.
at least a little bit,
Well, because Vince has got the length and athleticism in order to stay in front of somebody and at least try to make it hard, right? But again, I've seen Vince Williams as well for the last couple of weeks, and he has not been that guy, okay? It has been a disappointment. I'm also saying you've got to find somebody on the perimeter that can play with some defensive force, or else it's just going to, it opens up everything else, especially, in this – you're giving up crazy numbers in the first quarter.
45, bro. 45 spot is crazy.
That's crazy.
Like, that's insane.
Bro, that's they do that 4 times. It's 180 points.
Hey, somebody said Steph, remember that we beat him by 51, so he made sure he dropped 52.
Maybe so.
He was definitely paying attention, bro. It was, but like you said, bro, last night we texted about this. Last night was probably one of the best games we've had watched in a while. Like, just as far as cut out the first quarter.
You had your chances.
You had your chance.
Bro, you were down 3, and Scottie Pippen, whatever